Let me take a guess. Lately, it feels like stress is winning, right? You're trying to control everything, every little detail, every outcome. But the harder you push, the more things seem to unravel. Am I right? Now let me ask you something. What if instead of holding on tighter, you learned to let go? Because, my friend, that's where real power lies. In this video, I'm going to share something that could change everything. How to manifest what you truly desire without burning yourself out in the process. Yes, it's possible. And no, I'm not talking about magic tricks or waiting around for things to happen. Today, you're going to discover powerful principles inspired by Stoic philosophy that will teach you how to let go of stress, take back control of your life, and most importantly, attract what you've always dreamed of. I promise you, it's not what you're expecting, but that's exactly why it works. Are you ready to unlock the power already within you? Before we dive deeper, I want you to step into someone else's shoes for a moment. Let me tell you a story that might sound familiar. Javier was a top executive, the kind of person who seemed to have everything under control. His packed schedule, big decisions to make every day, constant pressure to never fail. But at what cost? One day, in the middle of an important presentation, something happened that he never saw coming. His body said enough. Out of nowhere, he couldn't move or speak. A panic attack left him completely frozen. Javier, the man who always had an answer for everything, felt vulnerable for the first time in years. In that moment, something inside him screamed, "What am I doing with my life?" On a friend's advice, he did something he never imagined. He disconnected. He went to a cabin in the mountains. No emails, no phone calls, just him and silence. At first, his mind wouldn't stop racing. What's happening at the office? What will people think? But slowly, something began to shift. As he walked the trails and listened to the wind through the trees, he remembered a phrase from Marcus Aurelius: "Accept everything that happens, even if it's different from what you expected." And just like that, a fog lifted. Javier realized he didn't have to control everything for things to work out. When he returned to the city, he stopped cramming every gap in his schedule with meetings. So, what did he do with his free time? He made space for the things that really mattered. Time to reflect, to care for himself, and to enjoy his family. And here's the most surprising part. When he let go of the need to control everything, things didn't fall apart. In fact, they got better. The atmosphere at work improved, results skyrocketed, and for the first time in a long while, he felt at peace with himself. Now let me ask you, how many times have you felt like Javier, carrying a weight that feels impossible to put down? Maybe today is the day you say enough and discover what happens when you let calm work its magic. Are you ready to give it a try? Let's get started. When all the pieces are scattered and out of place, it's impossible to see the full picture. Everything feels chaotic. But what happens when you take a moment to sort them out? You group them by colors, by shapes, and suddenly something magical happens. The picture starts to come together. My friend, that's exactly how your mind works. If it's cluttered with disorganized thoughts, worries and stress, what can you see clearly? Nothing. But when you give it calm and space, what a relief. That's when everything starts to fall into place. A few years ago, a pilot named Chesley Sullenberger, better known as Sully, faced one of those moments that most people would call a nightmare. Picture this. You're in command of a commercial airplane with over 150 people on board. Everything's going smoothly until the unthinkable happens. Both engines fail after striking a flock of birds. The plane loses power, and all you see ahead is a crowded city and an icy river. What would most of us have done? Panic, without a doubt. But Sully did something different. He closed his eyes for a split second and took a deep breath. In his mind, there was no room for chaos. He visualized what he needed to do: land the plane on the Hudson River without causing a disaster. Was he certain it would work? Not at all. But he trusted his experience, his team, and most importantly, his ability to stay calm. He manifested it. And do you want to know what happened? While alarms blared and passengers held their breath, Sully spoke in a firm, clear voice. Brace for impact. It wasn't just a technical message. It was a declaration of confidence. He was manifesting what everyone needed at that moment, hope that things would turn out okay. Thanks to his calm, focused mind, he achieved something extraordinary. He landed the plane on the river and saved everyone on board. Epictetus was right when he said, "What disturbs us is not what happens, but our thoughts about it." Sully couldn't control the engines or undo what happened with the birds, but he controlled his mind. He turned a chaotic situation into an opportunity to act with clarity and save lives. And that's what we can learn from his story. When you choose to calm your mind, you stop seeing problems and start seeing solutions. So how can you train your mind to be your best ally? You need to learn to organize the pieces of your mental puzzle. Spend 5 minutes a day thinking about all the worries cluttering your mind like scattered puzzle pieces. But here's the trick. Don't try to solve everything at once. Imagine you're stressed about 3 things at the same time. A tight work deadline, a recent argument with a friend that's still bothering you, and concerns about making ends meet this month. Now think of these worries as puzzle pieces. Take those 5 minutes to sort them. For example, put the work project in one corner, marked in yellow, something you can start working on right away. The argument with your friend goes in another corner, marked in orange, something you can resolve later with a call or a message. And your finances? Put that in red and set it aside in a pouch of future pieces to deal with when you sit down to review your budget. Suddenly, by separating the pieces and giving them a place, you begin to see things clearly. Not everything is jumbled together, not everything is fighting for your attention all at once. You might not solve the whole puzzle right then, but something better happens. You no longer feel that overwhelming chaos. Just by doing this, your mind starts to feel lighter, like you're making progress on something that once seemed impossible to handle. Worth trying, right? Remember, when your mind is calm, not only do you feel better, but you also open yourself up to possibilities that once seemed unreachable. A clear mind has the power to manifest what you truly desire. Maybe it's time to stop trying to control everything and start trusting more in the strength you already have within you. The noise. Have you ever tried listening to your favorite song in the middle of a street full of honking cars, sirens and shouting? No matter how hard you try, the noise drowns it out, right? That's exactly how we live today. Every notification, every random conversation, every news alert bombards you like that background noise, making it impossible to focus on what really matters. Now let me ask you something. How do you expect to discover what you truly want if your mind is trapped in constant chaos? If you don't silence that noise, if you don't create space, you'll never hear the music inside you. Look around you. How much time do you spend watching what others are doing, scrolling through social media, reading headlines that seem urgent, but let's be honest, you'll forget about them by tomorrow. All that noise doesn't just steal your time, it fills your mind with things that don't bring you closer to what you truly desire. Think about it. Every notification, every comparison is like adding another layer of dust to a window. How can you see clearly when everything is smudged? But if you stop, if you disconnect for a moment, it's like wiping that window clean. Suddenly, you can see what's on the other side. You can see what truly matters, your ideas, your dreams, the opportunities that have always been there but went unnoticed. Epictetus said it centuries ago. The free man is the one who is not afraid to go to the end of his thoughts. And what do you need to get there? You need to turn off the external noise. You can't reflect on your deepest desires when your mind is trapped in a constant barrage of distractions. Silence is the place where your thoughts have the freedom to grow, transform into actions, and eventually into results. Let me ask you, my friend, How many times have you felt like your mind is so full that you can't even think straight? Be honest. You're tired of it, aren't you? All that noise doesn't just exhaust you, it pulls you further away from what really matters. So are you ready to do something that few dare to try? Let's turn off that external noise, but before we go further, I'll admit it won't be easy, but trust me, it'll be worth it. Here's what I suggest. Try a no notification day. Don't worry, I'm not asking you to turn off your phone all day. What do I mean? Simply set specific times to check messages. For example, only check notifications at 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. The rest of the time, ignore them. Believe me, I tried it myself, and I noticed the difference immediately. Suddenly, I had time to focus on my projects, stick to my rituals, and most importantly, be present. Another idea, spend time in nature. It doesn't have to be an epic hike. It could be a nearby park or even your own backyard. Take 10 minutes to listen to the sounds around you. The wind, the birds, even the crunch of leaves underfoot. But no cheating. Leave your headphones at home. It's just you, your mind, and nature. You'll notice something amazing. It's as if nature reminds you of a slower, more authentic rhythm that's always been there for you. When you turn off the noise, it's like being a firefighter facing a blaze. First, you need to put out the flames of chaos and distraction. Only then can you see clearly what lies beneath. And in that moment, when everything is calm, your mind becomes fertile ground where ideas and desires can bloom. It's in this space of stillness that you can truly focus on what you want and start manifesting it, step by step, without the flames of noise pulling you off course.